find my ink pen, but
Hello,
okay.
everyone, and welcome to episode 18 of Just Lying Around, a Detroit Lions podcast presented by the World of Football. I'm your host, Kyle Sutherland, and I am joined by my co-host and brother-in-law, Adam Snow. And before I say anything, I just need to say this. They need to fire Aaron Glenn. I am sick and tired of his bullshit. But anyways,
Whoa, man, why you always gotta be
eh,
swearing and making me use the bleep button?
you'll bleep it
Come
out.
on.
Anyways, Adam, how are you doing today?
I mean, I like a win, but I don't know if I like that kind of win. That was stressful. I hate this. It's been rough.
Yep, you figure after jumping out to a 21-0 lead, they'd kind of put it in the back pocket and just go out killing the Saints. But nope, they kept it interesting, just like the old Lions used to do. So, yeah. But with that, let's move on here. On today's show, we're going to go over the Lions' Week 13 win against the New Orleans Saints and then look ahead to their Week 14 game against the Bears.
Can
And
you
they're
say
going
New
to need a
Orleans
lot
one
of
more
help.
time?
What?
Can you say New Orleans one more time?
New Orleans Saints.
Okay, there you go. That was better than whatever it was you just said. New Orleans. I mean, have you been hitting the Lions tequila? Because I mean, this game almost made me bust into the Lions tequila, and I don't even like tequila. Good Lord.
I was just pretending to be the Lions stumbling over my feet.
Yeah, pretending.
But first, we want to thank you for checking out our podcast, whether that's on the YouTube channel or on your podcast platform of choice. You can find the World of Football and its many offerings on multiple social media platforms. Just check down in the descriptions. We also have timestamps in the descriptions if you'd like to jump around to the various topics that we discuss. So, without further ado, let's just get on to talking about this win against the Saints. We have the Lions 33, the Saints 28. Lions first quarter, 7 minutes of the game, they scored 21 points versus the Saints 0. Everyone in their world probably thought, that's it. Saints are done. Lions got this in the bag pretty easy. But then the third quarter hit, and it looked like the Lions forgot that they needed to play the rest of the game. And the Saints said, let's get back into the game and try to beat them. So, yeah, that's why that score was pretty dang close at the end there.
It's just, I mean, I don't know what really is to blame here, but there's so much here that you thought they would have cleaned up by now, but it's the same old stuff. It's Ben Johnson's play calling has not been stellar. I mean, granted, you're gonna get the highlight. Like, if you just watch the highlights, you'd probably be like, "What? They looks like they called a lot of great plays between the Jameson Williams touchdown, that amon-ra touchdown. The touchdown, obviously, touchdowns. They worked." But when you get down to it, there's just situational calls where I'm like, why are we throwing it here? Like, I get it. Don't you kind of want to run out the clock? I get you need a first down and you shut down the game, because it was really evident at the end of the game that I was like, why aren't we running it? We're at least getting 3-4 yards a pop with Montgomery, and Gibbs is a wild card and he'll probably bust one at some point. And it's just like they lost faith in the running game, which I think they shouldn't have. And Goff is still looking off. I know he threw a few great passes when he needed them, but there's just still something just not right with Goff, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I think he's getting. There's a few plays where he's throwing it, and you can see Jameson Williams open in the middle, but Goff will throw it to like Reynolds on the side or try to fit it into St. Brown. Like, I don't know if he's not comfortable with throwing it with Williams yet, but I'm not gonna blame this game on Goff. Like, I blame this whole game on the defense and Aaron Glenn. So let's get through these stats first, and then we'll talk about.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say I don't think we can completely, but we'll discuss that in a bit. So yes, let's go through the stats.
Okay, so we got Jared Goff, 16 of 25 for 213 yards, 2 touchdowns. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 2 receptions for 49 yards and a touchdown. David Montgomery had 18 carries for 56 yards and 1 touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs, 8 carries for 60 yards. Sam Laporta had a record-setting day, 9 receptions for 140 yards and 1 touchdown. For the Saints, Derek Carr had 17 and 22 for 226 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Chris Olave, 5 receptions for 119 yards. And their Wildcat, Taysom Hill, had 13 carries, 2 receptions for a total of 74 yards and 1 touchdown. Total yards of the game, Lions had 347 yards, Saints 362 yards, and time of possession, Lions 27 minutes and 51 seconds, Saints 32 minutes and 9 seconds. So first line here, first quarter, 7 minutes, end of the game, Lions had 21 points and only allowing the Saints 33 yards total so far. But I feel like after that, everything just kind of fell apart. Aaron Glenn, I don't know if he decided to pump the brakes or whatever, go into that prevent defense kind of style that they go into like fourth quarter after they're up a couple touchdowns. But Saints got right back into it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I as soon as like the first 3 touchdowns happened, we're all jumping for joy. We're 7 minutes into the game, we're up 3 touchdowns. It's a dream come true. The Lions, the offense was firing on all cylinders. The defense making that big play, that interception by Branch to start the game, heck of an interception. And you got to think, a couple of unforced errors by the Saints there, like the 2 turnovers we got from them. But my big question here, so like after that, the offense just went stagnant. So I put this on Ben Johnson at some point because I know we all love him and he's probably going to be a head coach somewhere else next year. He's got to get some of the blame here for some of the terrible play calling and just management decisions. Granted, Goff, there was a couple of passes where Goff makes it, they get the first down, things keep rolling. But you're running plays that are short of the sticks. That's the same old Lions that we hated. Like, hey, it's 3rd and 9 and you're throwing for 7. What are we doing? Like, if you're going to be a creative genius, why aren't you scheming something to get somebody open downfield? Granted, there was some more pressure. I even think Penei Sewell might have allowed his first sack of the season today.
Yep.
It was that was a tough one to watch. He kind of just looks like he might have tripped up on the turf a little bit, and the guy just got around him. So I'm not going to put it completely on Sewell. I mean, shoot, 1 sack all season, I'll take that. But Goff, I don't know if it's a mixture of Goff not being able to hit the plays that Johnson's calling, but it just doesn't feel balanced. Like, remember last week against the Packers, it felt very balanced at times. Like, they equally ran the ball and threw the ball. This week it just seemed like they'd run it once or twice and then they're like, well, we better throw it for the rest of the drive, and then the drive ends. It was, they couldn't get anything going unless their defense gave them the ball in good field position. Once they got in the red zone, it's like that game plan worked. Anything else didn't work. Marching down the field, I can't even tell you what the longest drive for a score was. Everything was within the 30-yard line of the Saints today. So, I don't know. I think at some point Ben Johnson's got to be held accountable. But let's talk about this defense now. Jack Campbell filling in for an injured Alex Anzalone, I think, is something we're not all talking about enough. Granted, I was excited to see the kid kind of take over. They made a big deal about him wearing the green dot on the back of his helmet. But he looked lost out there sometimes. Like, he made some plays, don't get me wrong, but he looked a little lost. There was a couple of plays where 2 linebackers are going in the same direction, leaving open middle field, letting Kamara, just have free reign of the middle of the field. And then your defensive backs. What are we doing covering Chris Olave? The only receiver they have with Michael Thomas being hurt. And the dude, they let him catch how many 30-yard plays? And every time he did it, they went down and scored. So I don't know what it is, if that's the Aaron Glenn scheme, which I hate, or the Lions just being a little too over, in the face of Olave, because Olave would get open. He would find a way to just get some space. Because I don't think it was as soft as we like to criticize him for. There were times But I feel like the Lions did play pretty aggressive. It's just the Saints players just made plays a lot of the time. Uh, what do you think?
Yeah, like with Olave catches, a few of them like they had Jerry Jacobs right on them, but I mean it should have been discussed throughout the whole week. We need to double cover Olave. Make sure the safety is over to help whoever's covering Olave. Like he's the number one target that Derek Carr is going to throw to, and it didn't happen. Like you would see the catch, and the safety would be 3 or 4 yards away, barreling in to make the tackle. Like if Kirby Joseph was there to help double cover him, it would have been interceptions all day because Kirby Joseph is a ball hawk, and the way Derek Carr was throwing them were just lofting them down there to Olave. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm getting
I
sick and tired of Aaron Glenn's defense, and it's DBs and safeties look like they're getting lost sometimes. They're getting beat pretty bad. We're not double covering their top receivers. Like it's it it. I'm worried about next Sunday because the
yeah
Bears,
no.
DJ Moore, he's gonna um Fields and yeah, DJ Moore, they're just gonna carve the Lions up. Like it's gonna be a bad game. So
I'm kind of there with you. They got so much to clean up, and it just we've been saying that for weeks now. They got to clean some stuff up, and it's the same problems every week. Somehow the Lions have been able to pull it out, and it's been mainly due to the other team kind of shooting themselves in the foot, and the Lions just happen to take advantage of it. Whether it be the Chargers just bad, play calling towards the end of the stretch. The Bears with some iffy play calling at in the stretch. The Packers game, Lions just forcing their own turnovers. That's on them. But the Lions controlled 3/4 of that game. Like this game against the Saints, the Lions were the Packers of last week because the Packers jumped out to that big lead, and just while they were able to hold on, the Lions were able to hold on this week. But I don't know what Detroit's doing. It's like they play down to their opponent, and it sucks to
yeah,
see that. Because they should have handled New Orleans after that 21-0. I would have even said that if that interception didn't happen, I'm still thinking it could have been a 14-0 game to start the game, but Detroit could have never let them back in that game. But for whatever reason, Detroit just likes to do this now. And Dan Campbell, he won't admit to it. And I think Dan, not that you listen to this, Mr. Campbell, but you got to admit it. There's got to be a little bit sense of urgency. I know you like saying that your building isn't, feeling the pressure. You guys aren't hitting the panic button. I think it's time to hit the panic button. It is time to hit that panic button because I'm sorry, you need some sense of urgency because it was not there. You pulled out the win, but it was not there, like at all. Like where are you in the third quarter when the other team's just marching down the field and you can't make a stop to save your life? Why is there no urgency? That's my big problem with this team that should be better than they are. Even with a 9-3 record, I know that's crazy for us to say as Lions fans that, we're in the opposite end of where we were last year. We were frustrated because we were so close to winning. And, we could have had that game. And we had that game, but it shouldn't have even have been close. And these bad tendencies Detroit has is going to bite them in the butt. And then you have a Bears team facing you down next week coming off of a bye that I think is going to capitalize on some of Detroit's shortcomings.
yeah. And the only thing I'm gonna say further on this defense, if Derek Carr didn't get hurt and he was still playing the full game, they would have lost this. Like,
Now, agree or disagree, do you think, and I know as Lions fans we'll probably be biased, was that roughing the passer on the Derek Carr injury?
yeah, it was because he drove him
You
to the
think it
ground like
was?
that. Yep.
I don't. I simply do not. I think that was a clean tackle. Had he held onto the ball, that would have just been a tackle. Like, I hate this. He might have got the ball out like a split second before he's there, but what's that guy supposed to do? He had a shoulder into him. It's not like I don't think he landed on him in a way that was egregious. Maybe by the letter of the rule, but I think the letter of the rule is stupid. And I'm getting sick of all these, roughing the passer calls, whether it's against Detroit or the other way around. I think they're dumb. They're terrible. Get them out of the game. Put a 2-2 on the quarterback or give them a football flag, and let's just do it that way if we're going to play like this because it's terrible to watch. I don't even know what a
Well,
roughing the
yeah,
passer is anymore.
Yeah, from what I saw, it looked like he drove him down. But speaking of that Michigan game yesterday, one of the
I knew you'd weasel that in
defensive
somewhere.
one of the defensive
Michigan on a Lions
players,
podcast. Come on.
they suplexed McCarthy into the ground. But that wasn't called. So who
That's
knows?
college. We're not here to talk college.
Well, it was like a scene from WWE the way that he
It
got
was.
tackled.
It was.
But really quick on the offensive side, I also what I saw is they kind of just stopped using Gibbs. Gibbs was averaging 7.5 yards a carry versus Montgomery's 3.1 yards a carry. So I don't know if not Glenn, but the offensive
Ben Johnson.
coordinator Johnson was.
I've
I don't
only
know
said
if
his name
he.
like 8 times today.
Yeah, I don't know if like after seeing Montgomery only getting 2 to 3 yards a carry, he would just stop. It wasn't going to go to Gibbs, but if Gibbs is averaging 7.5 yards a carry, they should have put Gibbs instead and let him do his magic and have him run the ball. Instead,
Yeah,
they were
and
just throwing it downfield, making stupid, 3 to 4 bad offensive play calls where they would throw it behind the sticks and expect the person to run for 3 to 4 yards for a touchdown. Like,
yeah, and all those there's a couple of those screen passes they tried to set up that just got knocked down, or just like, why are you throwing it with a guy in his face? Like, that's a mix of golf making a bad decision, and I think bad play calling on Ben Johnson's part for just not setting up a screen like that works, or having a way to get out of that play if they like, oh look, that defensive back sees what we're doing. Like, I could tell you that the Lions are about to run a screen half the time, and then
oh
they
yeah,
sniff it out. So like, if we can sniff it out at home, they can sniff it out there in the game. They're not dumb. I don't think the Saints were one of the best defenses of the league that going into the season, and they were for many weeks. They've kind of fallen off a little bit, but a lot of injuries. But I just I just don't get it. I feel like at times Ben Johnson is super telegraphed, and it hurts. And then like he'll do something like that double reverse that you're just like, okay, well we got that, I guess, but like, why can't we just run the ball when we need to run the ball? Like, you got two guys that you could go Montgomery and Gibbs back to back. You can do so much with them, and I feel like they're so limited. Like, they try not to use them the way like they could be used, and they're just like, well, we'll just run them once in a while instead of you set up the Montgomery runs, with some Gibbs pitches. You've used the two of them to access the other one. Like, they always talk about setting up the pass with run, or vice versa. You set up the run because you're passing. You set up Montgomery by giving it to Gibbs a couple of times. You set up Montgomery, or and vice versa. I just don't see why they don't do that more.
yeah. I
And
don't
why
know. I
hasn't
think
Jack Fox
Campbell.
thrown a fake punt yet?
I think we're done with those, but I think Campbell needs to go into
We
this
better be
week.
done running fake punts, but I think throwing a fake punt, I'm
Uh,
down with Jack Fox getting some throws
as long as they're not in their like 20 or 30 yard on the offensive or um,
on
opposite
their side
side
of
of
the
the
field.
field. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I think Dan Campbell needs to go into this next week here, sit down with Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, and get rid of these plays that aren't working and stick to the plays that are. Like, get rid of the cute plays. You can keep that reverse around that JMO did. That's fine. But these stupid screens that they're throwing 2 to 3 yards behind the line of play, get rid of those. Let's run the ball with Montgomery and Gibbs. Throw it to Laporta, amon-ra St. Brown, JMO on a couple deep throws, and that's what they need to do. They don't need to get anything stupid anymore.
yeah, and Laporta. I mean, real quick, Laporta being the safety valve, we absolutely needed today. Heck of a game from him, balling out the way he did. And I know we're going to talk about Chicago here in a second, but you got to think the run game is going to be the absolute key to winning next week. They have to just give the ball to Montgomery and Gibbs all day long.
Yep. First and second down. Like, just don't waste a first down on a throw if it's going to be 2 yards down the field. Let's just run it. Like, That way, you're gonna bleed the clock a little bit, and
And
instead
hold on
of
to the ball, please, running backs.
yeah,
I know they've done okay, but that makes me nervous when they run too much and then they fumble it.
yep. But let's move on here. Previewing Week 14, Lions versus Bears at the Bears. Sunday, December 10th, 1 p.m. on Fox. Bears beat the Vikings 12-10. Was it last Monday, November
Yeah, Monday
27th?
night.
Yep. So that was a low scoring game.
Yep,
Biggest thing,
Bears first time they've won a game without scoring a touchdown since like '93. So
I have a
all
feeling they're
field goals
gonna.
for the Bears.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I have a feeling they're gonna score a lot of touchdowns this upcoming game here.
Yeah,
But like I mentioned before, the biggest thing I'm worried about is Fields with his feet throwing to DJ Moore or Komet. That's the biggest thing they need, the game plan. We need to double cover DJ Moore, make sure the linebackers are on Komet, and even have Brian Branch keep an eye on Fields if he's going to run. Um, if that's going to happen all game, Lions are just going to get toasted.
yeah.
And
And without Anzalone, if Anzalone's still out next week, I mean that'll be a big blow. Losing Ragnow, I think, might hurt Detroit a little bit. Maybe not a lot. I think the Lions' offensive line depth has been just absolutely stellar for the most part. I know Sorsdale
yeah,
has
yeah.
been very hit and miss, filling in. But other than that, that offensive line, I would rather have Ragnow out there. But it was good
Well,
to see Jonah Jackson back this week.
they were saying that Ragnow's injury is not as bad as they thought, so maybe he could get
We'll
out
see.
there.
We'll see. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
we'll
rush
see.
him back if that's the case. I mean, I'd like him out there, but I'd rather him be healthy for the stretch. I mean, even from the beginning of the year, I thought this Bears game was, it was going to be a split. Like I figured it'd be a home and home. We'll win at home. They'll win on at their place. It's our last outdoor game of the year. I don't know what to expect from Detroit. Um, I just don't know. I mean, they've been all over the place. I don't want to outright say the Bears are going to win, but this is when it's not going to surprise me. I won't be shocked in the least if the Bears come out with a win.
Yeah, like yeah, we'll see. Like I expect them to win. I don't expect the Lions to win this one.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
but yeah, the other thing is the defense for the Bears. Hopefully they don't throw Goff off his game too much because like last time, I don't want to see Goff throwing 2 to 3 interceptions in the game. So let's just run the ball, give it to Montgomery, give it to Gibbs, let Laporta be the safety valve, and let's just move the ball down methodically. Like, don't rush, don't do any crazy plays or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah, it would be nice to just see a nice. It's been a while since I feel like they've done a 7, 8, 9, 10 play drive and gone down there and punched it in. I could have used that today. Probably would have made me feel a lot better, but that team, they just couldn't get it in them today.
yep. But yeah. Also, I want to give a big props to oh, quick here. Let's
Who?
see.
What? When? Where? Why?
Jalen
For
Reeves
what?
Maven. Jalen
Oh,
Reeves
dude,
Maven.
yeah.
He
Give him some
made some
props.
big plays today, coming from the special teams to the linebacker core. When
He sniffed out that reverse that the Saints ran. That was a heck of a play. He just like sniffed that the heck out, and it was like a Anzalone type missile, just rocketing to the backfield. That was great. I need more of
yep,
that.
and he had 3 tackles for the special team. So yeah, good job on his part. But anything else? You got anything to add?
I don't know. Other than like I said, I think it is time to hit the panic button. I know. Hey, we're 9-3. Why are we hitting the panic button? Because I think this team's got so much, so much in them. That offense is getting wasted by the fact that this defense can't stop anybody. When we really like, they've made a few plays here and there, but we've also gotten very lucky. Like the fourth down play where Olave just was on a comeback route and couldn't get it, and we got the ball back. Like that was Olave should have had that. I mean, if that was Derek Carr that was in there, totally different ball game probably. So I don't
Yep.
know. I'm gonna chalk this one up as another one the Lions should have lost that they ended up winning.
Yeah, we'll hope. I think the next 3 games are going to be next 4. Well, next 5.
The
Next
rest of the
5 games are going to
schedule,
be. Yeah, the whole schedule is going to be rough. They don't turn the
yeah,
defense around.
my stress is already up to here. It's gonna get worse every week as we get to the end of the season.
But we'll see. All right, let's go ahead and close it out then.
All right. We appreciate you guys for watching or listening, however you choose to consume Just Lying Around. Please come back for more. Please be sure to visit the World of Football's website at www.theworldoffootball.com for news, links, upcoming events, original articles, videos, and more. If you want to get in touch with us, send us an email at info@theworldoffootball.com, or you can connect with us by either liking the World of Football on Facebook or going to our X account or Instagram. Those are both at TWOF Kalamazoo. Links down in the description there, guys. Also, be sure to check out our flagship podcast on the World of Football. This week in the World of Football, we drop that every Tuesday. Looking forward to this week's show, Kyle. We're going to be talking about your Michigan Wolverines, I'm sure, quite a bit as the college football playoff is set, and talk about those games over the weekend. I mean, just living your dream talking Michigan on the podcast.
Yeah, well,
and I'm sure there'll be more we'll talk about. Obviously, the NFL games, and I think there might be some other news that's kind of come out, but we'll see. And so yeah, again, guys, be sure to go to the links in the description and just hit us up. I don't know. That's it. That's my spiel.
all right. That's it for this week. If you're like me, I wouldn't hit the panic button yet, but my hand will be sitting right on top of it. Just depends on this next game, how they're going to come out with win or a loss. But yeah, thanks for listening, watching, subscribing, liking the videos. My birthday was Friday. World of Football put out a pretty sweet video for my birthday. Check it out.
Just say it. It was me. It was me.
It was,
You don't have to go
yeah,
around it. I'm right here. I put
I
out
don't
a
know.
sweet video for your birthday, like I always do.
Adam put out the video. It's pretty cool. So check it out. But yeah, go Lions. Hopefully they come out with a win against the Bears. We will see. And yeah, catch you on the next episode. Thanks for watching.
Happy belated birthday, by the way, Kyle. I haven't seen you face to face yet to tell you happy birthday, but happy birthday.
Oh yeah. Well, I told you, you too, on the response.
Yeah, that was the most confusing text I've ever received in my life. I was like, what? Is he drunk already? I'm pretty sure it's 10 in the morning on a Friday, and he didn't come to work today. I had to ask your wife. I was like, is he drinking already?
No.